Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
Hey, I am great. How are you?
Oh, fantastic. Excited for some fun stuff that we're going to talk about today, like this. A couple in India plans to get married 2,000 feet above the ground while suspended by ropes between two mountains.
Oh, my gosh.
You better say I do or I'll pull the ripcord.
Oh, my gosh.
Asharwad R and Bharati Patil, I'm sure I said those exactly right, going to exchange vows between mountains called Duke's Nose and Duchess Peak by a priest hanging from another rope.
Where on earth did they find that priest?
I don't know. I have no clue. All I know is that it's one thing to get somebody to marry you, but it's a completely different thing to say, hey, would you marry me hanging between two mountains on a rope?
Oh, they're clearly made for each other if they agreed to do that. That's insane.
A new study by researcher E. Mitchell
Do
Seymour.
the guests all have to? What about the maid of honor and the best man? They have to hang there too?
I have no clue. I have no idea. A new study.
People are going to be looking up her dress.
I'll get to my other story later. We'll just move on. We've got some special things happening today. We'll tell you all about that in just a bit.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Thursday, July the 7th. It's our dog's birthday today. 07.
Oh, yeah, it is.
07 is when our doggy was born. 9 years old today.
We'll have to...
Have a birthday cake?
Yeah, we'll have to get her something.
She can't eat cake, though.
She can have a doggy treat. They make doggy cakes.
Do I have to eat a piece of that? Today is Chocolate Day. So for those of you who like chocolate. Father-daughter take a walk together day. Global Forgiveness Day. And Tell the Truth Day, which should be every day, by the way. I mean, shouldn't you always tell the truth? Isn't that just a good idea?
You should.
So, there you go. Get out there and celebrate by telling the truth, walking with your daughter, and having some chocolate on this Thursday, the 7th day of July.
Whether you're an experienced shooter or someone new to self-defense, Front Sight Firearms Training Institute has a course for you. You may recognize Front Sight from their reality TV show filmed at this private range 45 minutes west of Las Vegas. A Diamond lifetime membership is $15,000, but we have a special price of just $3,000 available now only at radiosavings.com. This lifetime membership allows you to take over 50 courses as often as you'd like at Front Sight Firearms Training Institute. Get this deal right now at radiosavings.com.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. Have you ever heard the phrase "lightning never strikes in the same place twice"?
Yes.
Yes. I don't think I said it right.
No, that's the gist of it. But yeah, I have.
Lightning never strikes twice. No. What is the saying?
Never strikes in the same place twice. Yes,
I
have
was right
heard
the
it.
first time.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Well, that might be the case for lightning, but it's not necessarily the case for crime. When Germany's Rainer Hammer went out to a local club, he was mugged not once, not twice, 3 times.
In the same club?
Yeah, in the same hour. He went into the bathroom and he said his wallet containing $200 and his cell phone was stolen by 3 attackers. He called police from outside the club using a friend's phone, but while he waited for the cops to arrive, he was approached by 3 other men who stole his watch and his cigarettes.
Oh.
As he leaned back against the wall to recover, another 5 men approached him.
Oh, my God.
And they stole his jacket and the last of the small change that he had in his pockets.
You might want to hang out in a different neighborhood.
I was just going to say, I'm not sure where this dude is hanging out. This is in Germany. I don't know where he's hanging out, but you might want to reconsider that location.
Wow.
And it wasn't...
That's a bad day right there.
The crazy thing is, it wasn't one guy that did this. It was first a group of 3 men, then a group of 3 other men, then a group of 5 men. I mean... So this guy was
that's a rough day.
Robbed by 3
At least he wasn't
gangs.
hurt.
No, he lived to tell the tale at least. So anyway, that's kind of crazy. I've never been mugged, thank goodness.
I haven't either.
I remember reading a story about a guy that he lived in a big city and he would get mugged quite often. And he had a fake wallet that he would give the muggers, and it had like Bible tracts in it.
Oh.
So they would mug him, and then when they would, take off running with the wallet, if they opened it up, it had little things in there talking about how they should repent and, fix their life.
That's a good
I thought
idea.
That was kind of a clever idea.
I've never been mugged. Been
No.
screwed over a lot of times, but never mugged. Stabbed in the back
Yeah, that's it.
several times.
Okay, yeah, let's move on. You know it's true because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this
is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
And this is your brain on drugs. Friends, don't let friends drive stupid. 2 men in Santa Clara, California were driving drunk. One had a suspended license. Both desperately needed to use the men's room. Followed a Department of Corrections bus all the way through the gates of a jail.
Okay.
So they were driving drunk. They were following a bus.
Wow.
The bus drove right into the jail, and they followed. Turns out they thought they were following a Greyhound bus, and they thought, hey, if we follow this Greyhound bus, we'll find a men's room at the bus depot. Well, they found a men's room.
They found a men's room.
According to the Department of Corrections, the driver made sure to close the gate quickly behind them. So... the driver? Oh, the Department of Corrections driver. I see. So once they got in, the driver of the bus closed the gate and trapped him in there. He could tell they were drunk by the way they were driving, apparently. Anyway, yeah, that's what happens, kids, when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
You ever notice how some people just don't seem to think things through?
Oh, yeah.
29-year-old Antonio Hernandez of Salt Lake City is one of those people. He pled guilty to hijacking a Greyhound bus that had just left Green River, Utah, intending to use it to smash into his estranged wife's trailer home.
Oh, wow.
Well, he had a plan, anyway. Fortunately for everybody involved, he was stopped by the police at the hijack scene. If he hadn't been caught there, chances are they would have caught him soon enough, though. To carry out his scheme, he would have had to drive this bus all the way to Nebraska. Again, this happened in Salt Lake City. So he had a 500-mile drive to get to his wife's trailer. So I don't know if he was planning on just building up speed over those 500 miles. He'd have to stop for gas a few times. I'm not sure what his plan was. I don't think he had a plan. I guess I can tell you what we have. We have your scoop of the day. That is on the way. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now, your scoop of the day. A new study by researcher E. Mitchell Seymour at the University of Michigan shows that a diet high in blueberries reduces abdominal fat. Woo.
Oh.
I like blueberries.
And I don't like blueberries.
I have abdominal fat.
I have abdominal fat, but I don't like blueberries.
The kind of fat, by the way, that's linked to increased waist size and increased risk for diabetes and heart attacks. Heart disease, rather. As an extra added bonus, blueberry-eating rats also improved glucose control, meaning blood sugar was more stable for those rats. And they think that it might transfer to humans. How'd you like to be?
I just don't care for... I
like
don't know. They're
blueberries.
too mushy or something. There's something about them I don't like.
I like
blueberries. Blueberry flavored things.
There you go. Hey, maybe we should just have some blueberry jello.
Don't think that probably works.
Is that a thing? I don't know if that's a thing.
Remember those blueberry lifesaver suckers? Those blueberries and cream? Oh my gosh, those
See?
are good. Do you think that would work?
Probably not. It's rush hour in Philadelphia for thousands of baby toads as they hop across a busy residential street on a rainy summer night. Why do toadlets cross the road? Well, to get to the woods on the other side, of course. But where will they live? They eat. That's where they live, rather, is in the woods. They eat mosquitoes, and they grow up to be full-size American toads. After a couple years, they make the reverse trek as adults back. But the sad thing is, a lot of the time, they get squished by cars.
Well, of course. They're going across a road.
That is where the toad detour comes in. Yes, there's a Seychelles Center for Environmental Education setting up roadblocks each year at this time in this neighborhood, rerouting cars so the amphibians can cross the two-lane street without fear of croaking. So they have a toad detour every year.
Okay, so I mean that's all well and good, but how do the toads know that's where they're supposed to cross? They're just going to hop wherever they want to hop.
And they say, "Hey, this is where you cross. Right over here, toads. Cross over here."
Yeah,
I think that's what they do. I don't know. A man who escaped imprisonment over 30 years ago has turned himself in. 50-year-old Alan Richardson of Rochester, New York, was arrested in 1971 on drug charges, fled to Canada, but since returned to pay his debt to society. He has pled leniency and told the court that he was sorry for being a foolish young man, decided to surrender to make peace. The judge said he had no choice but to sentence him to 4 years in prison. That was his original sentence, which would have been over, by the way, in 1975, so he'd have been done with this. But, you know, it's pretty cool that he came back to face the charges at least. Mm-hmm. That's pretty darn cool. I've got some other stuff. I'm going to scroll down here because I've got some really good stories down here. At least that's how I remember it. How about, I hope that I'm right. Customs officials in Arizona arrested a woman for allegedly trying to smuggle a pound of meth into the U.S. inside a burrito.
Oh.
Yeah, she was trying to re-enter the U.S. Through a pedestrian gate carrying what looked like a bag of burritos. A drug dog sniffed out the presence of drugs in the bag, and they took a peek. One of the burritos didn't have guacamole or any pico de gallo, but it did have a pound of meth, estimated to be worth about $3,000.
Good Lord.
So, yeah, that was one spicy burrito. At what age do you consider yourself no longer young, Heidi?
Oh, boy.
I'm going to see if you say the right number, because it says if you ask women, they'll say
30.
Oh, close, 28. You're almost a woman. Oh, wait, no, you are a woman. A recent survey found that 28 is the line in the sand to start concentrating on your career and quit having so darn much fun. So, ladies, if you're over 28, you're supposed to grow up, according to that story.
I know 30 was a tough year for me. 30 was hard because I was like, okay, I'm officially no longer young. Wasn't in my 20s anymore. 30 was hard. 40 wasn't hard for me, but 30 was tough.
How was 50? Oh, wait, no, we haven't hit
I
that
have
yet.
not hit 50. I'm not even close to 50.
Hey, NASA's chief scientist recently predicted that we'd find signs of life beyond Earth within a decade, but a study by researchers at Penn State, one of the most exhaustive of its type, is not very encouraging. After surveying tens of thousands of galaxies surrounding our own Milky Way galaxy, the scientists have turned up no sign of advanced alien civilizations thus far. So they're saying, we think that there might be life out there. We think that we might find it, but we just haven't found it yet. So there you go.
There you go.
This has been your Scoop of the Day for a Thursday.
John and Heidi.
This has been quite an election so far, and we've got a long ways to go. Stay informed at politicalstorm.com. It's a cool site with political news and information on the campaigns, plus a place to chime in and have a say in what you think. If you're into politics, you need to check out politicalstorm.com. Get informed from several different sources all in one place. Listen to podcasts like mine and learn about current election topics, read fun editorials, and engage your brain. It's your country. It's your vote. It's your voice. Politicalstorm.com. That's politicalstorm.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We've got a special guest joining us today. We've got Dana White. She's a policy advisor and the author of a book called Leader Designed. First of all, let's say hello to Dana. How are you, Dana?
I'm good. Thanks, John. How are you?
Very good. I'm excited to chat with you. I was kind of looking through the info that was sent over, and I love this. It says, Trump is our pig. We have to dress him up. I love that. That is kind of funny. So what does it mean, Trump is our pig? I know I've heard, that we got to put lipstick on this pig. I'm assuming that's what you mean.
Yes, absolutely. Trump is, not the perfect candidate in any way, shape, or form. But this Never Trump movement and people who keep railing against him, Donald Trump's just not the kind of guy that if he wins, you really want to be on the wrong side of. So it's really, as Republicans, we really have to embrace him and figure out how best to dress him up for the general election.
So there are people out there that are saying, never Trump or dump Trump. But, on the same token, there's the Stop Hillary campaign. So this has been kind of an interesting election all around. We've got it almost seems like you've got which candidate people dislike the least is what's going to happen. But why is it, dumping Trump? Why is it unlikely to improve the Republicans' electoral prospects?
Well, the thing is the Republican establishment. I'm here in Washington, and I talk to a lot of friends, and a lot of them aren't supporting Trump. But the Republican Party cannot disenfranchise the millions of voters who have gotten involved in this process because of Donald Trump. And they miss something. They miss this populist that Bernie Sanders has capitalized on, that Trump has capitalized on. They've missed the boat, this Congress. And so, again, I just think at some point you have to decide either you want to vote for Hillary, or you're going to have Hillary as president, or you're going to have to work with Donald Trump. That's the reality. Conservative is not on the ballot. Republican is. Yeah. So, again, we got to get our head around going ahead and working with Donald Trump.
I had a friend that gave me I think this was a pretty good analogy. He was talking about, when you may have that certain person you wanted to go to the prom with, but they didn't ask you, it's down to this one is the one that asked you. So you're either going to the prom or you're not. And I thought that was kind of funny because, when you look at it, that's kind of the thing. We've got Hillary and we've got Donald Trump, and, those are choices. So you can write somebody else in, I suppose, but unless somebody else comes out and, launches a very late campaign, those are the two choices we have. And it has really kind of turned into, I think a lot of people are saying, I would rather have this person instead of that person, even though they may not be your perfect candidate. Now it's down to, okay, which one can I live with?
Which one can I live with? That is what it comes down to. Which one will I be least disgusted with? That's it.
Again, visiting right now with a policy advisor, Dana White, and she's got a book. Now, the book, Leader Designed. How long has the book been out, Dana?
So the book just launched in June last month, and it's available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, as well as on my website, DanaWhite.com.
And the book, is this your first book you've done, or have you done other books as well?
This is my very first book. The inspiration for the book was actually, I was living in Paris, and my father passed away suddenly here in Virginia, and it got me thinking about all the leaders in my life and how they brought me to this point. And it really got me thinking about how so many leaders, people think about leaders in terms of generals and presidents and corporate titans. And the thing is that we're all leaders in our own right because we all have the ability to show someone else what they can do and who they can be. So that was the inspiration for the book.
That is awesome. Now, speaking of leaders, both Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton are known for, maybe not necessarily being like everyone else. Why is it that, when they become, one of them will most likely be in the Oval Office. You're saying that with their strong leadership, they're probably not going to be the exact same fit as other presidents for the Oval Office. Why do you feel that way?
Well, because both of these people have such negatives, right? And Donald Trump has had no experience whatsoever in public life, and he has no relationships in government. So he is definitely not a perfect fit. And Hillary Clinton, as the first woman and also a former first lady, and being the first woman, that's also new. So for both of them, I think they'll both have challenges in leading, because either way, I think the country will be quite divided in terms of whoever becomes president.
It's going to be a historic election no matter what happens, and it's been amazing to me how early this campaign started. For whatever reason, seems like every election cycle we start a little bit earlier, don't we?
We absolutely do. This has probably been the earliest anyone has ever started, and it's interesting because it seems as though we are being bombarded, and Americans are actually waiting longer to pay attention. People talk about the polls in June, but most people don't tune in truly to the election until maybe a month before. It's October.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, and the money that's being spent, the billions of dollars that are raised just to influence us when it's all going to matter in October.
Yeah, because they always talk about the October surprise, and that's where this year I was saying I wonder if it'll be an October surprise, or maybe it'll be an August surprise or a September surprise. Everything has been, it's been going on so long. It feels like this campaign has been happening for years.
Absolutely. And you don't know what's going to happen with Hillary's possible indictment. I mean, there's so many factors, and the investigations on the Clinton Foundation. Like, you just don't know what kind of candidate she looks like after the convention. And technically, Bernie Sanders hasn't suspended his campaign, and neither has he endorsed her wholeheartedly. So It's going to be a very interesting summer.
Well, and I have a few friends on Facebook that are adamant Bernie supporters, and they point out the fact that Franklin Delano Roosevelt was chosen, not because he had enough delegates going in, but he was chosen, once they got to the convention. So it was a brokered convention back in 1932, and he was elected 4 times. So apparently he did something right.
Absolutely, he absolutely did. And the thing about Bernie Sanders in relation to leadership is what Bernie Sanders and Trump both have is a vision. And you might not agree with their vision, but they both own what they believe in a way that Hillary Clinton didn't, and frankly, neither did the other 17 Republican candidates. So, I think that's why you're going to have so real large voter turnout, because both Trump has this huge vision. Hillary doesn't.
One of the things that's been amazing to me is the number of people who I've talked to who said this is the first election they're going to vote in a long time. I talked to a man just recently. It was over the 4th of July holiday. He said, I haven't voted in 20 years, and I'm voting in this election. And I said, so who is it you're supporting? And he said, I just don't want Hillary to be elected. So I said, so you're a Trump supporter? He said, no, I just don't want Hillary to be elected. And I know there are people that feel the exact same way, against Trump as well. So again, it's interesting that there, people coming out in droves to vote against somebody this time.
It's amazing. I mean, I think people have in the past felt like, the devil I know, the devil I don't. But I think a bipartisan sentiment in America, unifying all of us, is none of us like our candidate.
Yeah.
No one. No one likes their candidate.
It's kind of like we all want a do-over. Can we give a do-over on this?
Can you do a hashtag do-over? Everyone did hashtag do-over on the ballot?
There you go. That would be kind of fun. Again, visiting right now with Dana White, author of a book called LeaderDesigned. Now, speaking of leadership, there are telltale signs of bad leaders and necessary qualities for strong leaders. What are some of the things that you should look for a strong leader, and what are some of the signs that you should know that this is probably going to be a bad leader?
Well, the first great sign of a great leader is they do have a vision that's inclusive and big. One thing I noted in my book about Hillary during the 2008 election was that she had a very narrow vision. It was like she wants to be president of the United States, and it was her dream, but it wasn't our dream. Whereas Barack Obama had this great vision of this post-racial America where white America could finally be rid of the sins of their fathers and grandfathers, and that was an attractive vision. So having a vision is the number one sign of a good leader. A sign of a bad leader is when the vision is all about them, me, I, what I want, who I can be, what I can do. That's a bad sign. A narcissistic leader. Another great sign of a leader is someone who empowers other people. Great leaders are ultimately servants. They help empower people. They let other people shine. They use their position to make things happen for others. I have a chapter called Generals Eat Last about the time I spent in the Pentagon. And what I learned about generals is that they always use their stars to help the people who follow them. And they put their team ahead of everything. And that's the sacrifice of leaders.
Very cool. Again, our guest today has been Dana White, author of LeaderDesigned. Dana, where can we find a copy of this book? Let's talk about that one more time.
You can find it on Amazon.com. You can find it at Barnes & Noble. And you can find it on my website, DanaWhite.com.
Dana, it's been a pleasure to chat with you. Thank you so much for visiting with us.
Thank you, John.
And I got to ask before we let you go, do you have any predictions on the election? Because I'm trying to find somebody that knows what's going to happen.
So I think that one of the two things happens. Donald Trump implodes or Donald Trump wins. But it's his to win.
Yeah.
His to lose.
There you go. Well, you heard it here first. Thank you again for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Do you buy lottery tickets? Maybe you wait till the jackpot is big, then you buy one. I was like that too. Like my odds got better because the jackpot was more. Well, I think I found something that actually will give me a better chance to win. It's called Lotto-licious. I learned about this from Richard Lustig. He literally wrote the book on how to win the lottery, and he should know. He's a 7-time lottery game grand prize winner. Richard plays and endorses Lotto-licious, and I just signed up too. I'd love it if you join Richard and I. You can play Powerball and Mega Millions without even going to the store. Sign up right now at RadioLottoPool.com.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
On average, Americans eat 18 acres of pizza every day.
Whoa.
Not each American, I hope.
Whoa.
Hey, fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Delivery times for pizza in Hong Kong are primarily influenced by elevator traffic, not so much the traffic on the roads. But people, the delivery man spends more time, trying to get on an elevator to take it up to the right floor.
Yeah.
So never really thought about that. That was in Hong Kong. Fun fact for you,
What's
Heidi.
that, John?
About 25% of all energy consumed in the U.S. is from natural gas. So a lot of natural gas going on out there. And final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
It takes 7 years for a lobster to grow 1 pound. So if you want a 1 pound lobster, that little dude's going to be at least 7 years old.
Huh.
Takes me 7 minutes, by the way, to grow a pound. This has been a fun fact for you on this Thursday.
Whether you're an experienced shooter or someone new to self-defense, Front Sight Firearms Training Institute has a course for you. You may recognize Front Sight from their reality TV show filmed at this private range 45 minutes west of Las Vegas. A diamond lifetime membership is $15,000, but we have a special price of just $3,000 available now only at radiosavings.com. This lifetime membership allows you to take over 50 courses as often as you'd like at Front Sight Firearms Training Institute. Get this deal right now at radiosavings.com.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday. We don't use dryer sheets, do we?
Sometimes I do.
Honestly, I don't see
Not very
them
often, but
sitting around
sometimes
the
I
house.
do.
But there's a brand name, Bounce. Now, I'm pretty sure any dryer sheet would do these same things. But for those of you who are big fans of Bounce, take a look at what I found. I'm not sure if we read this before. For some reason, I think we might have read this one time before.
It's already sounding familiar, but
dryer sheets, you don't even know what I'm going to say. I could say these things could save you in a hurricane or something. You don't know what I'm going to talk about yet.
Okay.
So what is it, Heidi?
I think there are different household tips that you can do with bounce sheets.
Well, how foolish are you going to look when I tell you I have some household tips? Something like that. Bounce will chase ants away if you lay it down near the ants. Say, this cadoodle. They bounce out of there. Takes odors out of books and photo albums. So if you have books and photo albums that maybe have been in storage and they don't smell too good,
That's
throw
a good
some
idea.
Bounce dryer sheets or any brand dryer sheets in there. They repel mosquitoes. So next time you're planning on going outside, just strap yourself and a whole bunch of those.
I think you're supposed to rub it on yourself.
Is that what
you
you're
don't
supposed to do?
like tape them to
Can
your
I wear
clothes.
them as a bandana or a headband? They eliminate static electricity from your television screen, and it helps keep the dust from setting on there. Freshen the air in your home, prevent thread from tangling. Run a threaded needle through a sheet of Bounce before beginning to sew. I keep saying Bounce because that's what it says in the story. It could be any dryer sheet. I'm almost positive. Pretty sure this was sent out by the people from Bounce. Prevent musty suitcases. Lay an individual dryer sheet inside of empty luggage before storing. It'll freshen the air in your car. Just throw one of these things under the front seat, right next to all those stale French fries.
And I've actually also heard that if you put them in like a car that you're restoring, that you're not around very often, that you don't go to very often, that's just in storage, it'll keep mice from your vehicle.
I'm sure that it will. Clean baked-on foods from a cooking pan. Put a sheet in the pan, fill with water, let it sit overnight, and sponge clean. The anti-static agent weakens the bond between the food and the pan. I did not know that. Eliminate odors in waste baskets. Throw one of these little dudes on top. Collect cat hair by rubbing an area with a sheet of, again, I'll just say static, what are these things called again? Dryer sheets. It'll magnetically attract all the loose hairs. Eliminate static electricity from Venetian blinds. So when you wipe the blinds clean with the dryer sheet, you don't have to clean them as much. Wipe sawdust up from a drilling panel, drilling or sanding or papering. So if you're doing stuff where you're making a mess, this is supposed to help clean that up. Eliminate odors in dirty laundry. Isn't that what they're for in the first place? They're used for laundry?
And for static clean.
Deodorize shoes and sneakers. Place one in your stinky shoes and sneakers, and they'll smell better in the morning. And the last one on the list, take the used sheet from your dryer, then wipe the lint trap, and it'll help clean it perfectly.
Oh,
that's a really good idea.
That is a good idea.
A couple of tips from our friends at Bounce. But like I said, I'm pretty sure any dryer sheet brand, if you use a different one, will probably be just fine. Coming up, we're going to talk about how the pizza man helped somebody. That's on the way.
Hey, this is Tim from Hope and Faith Machine Works. Are you having one of these days?
How in the world am I going to do that?
Or even,
if I could just have this, my life would be so much easier.
Well, this kind of stuff is my specialty. At Hope and Faith Machine Works, we work with anyone who needs something built, fabricated, or just done right. We've done medical, industrial, PLC, and prototype designs. You can reach us at yourhopeourfaith.com. That's yourhopeourfaith.com.
Got a story here about a man who was apparently suicidal, and he was coaxed off the edge of a bridge, not by the police or a concerned family member, but by a pizza delivery man. 6 hours of negotiation, San Bernardino, California. They called in heavy artillery to get a man to get off the safety railing of a highway overpass. Trained negotiators put out a call to Gabriana's Pizza, ordering the loaded combination. Tempted by the smell of this delicious pizza with pepperoni and olives, cheese, and peppers, the 32-year-old man opted for a slice rather than a 30-foot drop. He moved back in to get a slice of pizzas, and the officers grabbed him and pulled him to safety. So that's really cool.
That's a good idea.
I don't know. That's an interesting idea. I don't know that would be the combination for me. Pepperoni, olives, cheese, and peppers. You pull those peppers off, or I'm jumping.
I love peppers on pizza.
I mean, I'm swan diving right off this bridge. If you don't get those peppers off that pizza now.
Whatever.
Okay, maybe I wouldn't. Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday.
John and Heidi.
You like going on picnics.
I do.
It's
don't been years
understand.
since we've been on a picnic.
No, I don't want to sit in the dirt and eat my food.
I love picnics.
And I don't want to sit on the ground, period.
I think they're just so
It's just not for me.
romantic and
not my
fun.
thing. Well, there's been somebody else that's been a big fan of picnics lately in Nebraska, a bobcat. Been cozying up to campers at a Nebraska campsite, and it's been captured now. The bobcat is believed to be about a year old, recently joined a family for breakfast, even let children pet it and feed it.
Aww.
Whose idea was that? Mom and Dad?
Here, kids, pet the bobcat.
You want to pet that wild bobcat? There's nothing that can go wrong
if
here.
he's just a baby.
Anyway, you can't have a bobcat going around mooching meals off people, so they captured him by the game and parks officers. They put him in his truck. The officer said, put him in a pet carrier. Dwight Alberti said the bobcat must have been somebody's pet because he was too calm around people to be wild. So that's really kind of cool. A little bobcat for breakfast.
Who would have
not
a
eating
pet?
it.
Who would have a pet bobcat and then just turn it loose to
know.
fend for itself?
I
That's
don't know.
awful.
That is. Whoever that was, you nasty, naughty people. Don't do that. That's mean. Coming up, we've got some more fun stuff to chat about. That's on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This has been quite an election so far, and we've got a long ways to go. Stay informed at politicalstorm.com. It's a cool site with political news and information on the campaigns, plus a place to chime in and have a say in what you think. If you're into politics, you need to check out politicalstorm.com. Get informed from several different sources all in one place. Listen to podcasts like mine and learn about current election topics, read fun editorials, and engage your brain. It's your country. It's your vote. It's your voice. Politicalstorm.com. That's politicalstorm.com.
John and Heidi.
All right, man, you're supposed to pay attention here. I've got 5 tough questions for men. So men, pay attention. Number 1, what are you thinking about? Baseball, wrong. Football, wrong. How hungry I am, wrong. My new truck, wrong. What you should say is, I'm sorry, I've been, a little distant. I've been thinking about what a warm and attractive and intelligent woman you are.
Oh, good Lord. Nobody would believe that.
Question 2, do you love me? Wrong answer. Oh, yeah, lots. Wrong answer. Would it make you feel better if I said yes?
Oh, my
The right
gosh.
answer, by the way, is yes. I can't believe how lucky I am to have ever found you. That is the right answer. Do I look fat? Wrong answer would be, compared to what? I don't know. I would rather say you're not exactly thin. Wrong. I've seen you fatter. Wrong. The right answer is, of course not. Why, you look even better today than the day I married you. Hey, you do, by the way.
Oh, my gosh.
Number 4 on the list. Do you think she's prettier than me? Yeah, but you have a better personality. Wrong. Not as pretty as you were when you were her age. Wrong. Not prettier, but definitely thinner. Wrong. The right answer, of course not. Why, you look even better today than the day I married you.
Oh, my gosh.
And the number 5 question, what would you do if I died? Buy a Corvette. Wrong. Probably marry somebody thinner and prettier. Wrong.
That would be...
Date your sister. Even
your
wrong.
death might be coming a lot
Even
sooner than...
Wronger than wrong. And then the right answer, according to this, is, I'll never know, dear. I plan on dying one day before you, so I never have to live without you. There you go.
That one is a good answer.
Thank you. Then Heidi, I plan on dying one day before you. Most likely because you killed me. All right.
For using one of these stupid answers.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always try to wrap things up around here with some good news, and I think we've got some good news today. Scientists have created a genetically modified cow that produces milk with low levels of protein known to cause allergic reactions in a significant proportion of children. Researchers believe it could one day lead to the sale of hypoallergenic milk from herds of genetically modified cows.
I think genetically modified cows is a very bad idea.
Well, what I'm saying here is the thing that's interesting is there are kids who have allergic reactions to milk. Milk is something that's really important for a lot of people when you're especially when you're a child growing up, makes your bones stronger, all these things that it does for you. Remember when we were kids, milk?
It does a body good.
Yeah. See, I didn't have to tell you because
Yeah.
I couldn't think of what it was. It was I knew it was something like that. I was going to say it makes the body good. I knew that was wrong. Milk, it does the body good. That's what it was. So now these scientists are working on a way to make it so the milk that comes out of these cows will not have the same, what is it called? Produces milk, lower levels of protein known to cause allergic reactions.
I don't know. I just think it's a bad idea.
So you think they should just stick to water? Or what?
No, I think these kids should suck it up and
Well, they
drink
have allergic
milk.
reactions, so
How bad can it be?
It could
Did
be
anybody
deadly.
that we knew growing up have allergic reactions? I mean, I think we're creating a lot of these problems. Don't you think that
Why
we're
did
creating a lot of these problems?
Why did I
Because
open this door?
Did we have to have peanut allergy tables at our
No.
schools? No, we didn't. And now all of a sudden, because of all this genetic modification on
I don't know if
crap,
that's what it's from.
or something we're doing is causing problems. And I think you quit messing with what God created and just leave it be, and everybody will be fine.
Well, I remember reading a story not too long ago where they were saying to introduce little bits of peanut, right away when your child's a baby. I don't remember exactly. If you have a history of peanut allergies in your family, talk to your physicians, of course, first. But I remember reading it where they were saying to introduce this very early, and then they won't have that allergy because
Yeah.
they'll build up an immunity.
Well, and I think
kinda
that's
cool.
kind of part of it too. People are so scared that what if my kid has a peanut allergy and they're
Yeah.
not introducing it to them at all,
Yeah.
and then it is a severe problem.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know. I just
allergies are nothing new.
I just feel like a lot of times we're causing our own problems.
Yeah, I know. We've got friends that they'll get their kids vaccinated for everything. They're vaccinated for anything you can possibly think of, and their kids are always sick. Meanwhile, our kids were like, just rub some dirt on it, you'll be fine.
And our kids are never sick.
They're never sick.
They had their vaccinations, obviously. I
Yeah.
mean, the ones that are required that they had to have. They had those.
But I mean, there are kids that get shots for every little thing.
Yeah,
or
if
they
you
get
got a cold, let's go in for the cold shot.
Like,
I don't know if there is such a thing, but
I
if there
don't
was,
think
I
there's
know
a cold
people who
shot.
would get it.
It's cold shot season. Don't think they have that. This is probably the worst 2 minutes of radio in the history of radio. And I apologize for it. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. I promise I'm going to find a much better story to talk about tomorrow where I don't give her any room to even comment. You just took us down a dark
Sometimes
path.
it's best when I'm quiet.
Yeah, I think so too. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday.